The Education Department under Betsy DeVos has been attempting to redo some of the efforts that were accomplished under the Obama administration. I'm specifically talking about Title IX and how it impacts college campuses. Now, under the Obama administration, there was a directive or guidance. This was a non-legal binding guidance that would essentially encourage administrators on college campuses to investigate accusations of sexual assault and rape. Well, once Donald Trump was in charge and once he nominated and then later confirmed Betsy DeVos as the head of the Education Department, things changed. And one of the things that Betsy DeVos wanted to do was offer more protections for the accused rather than the accusers. So right now, as far as we know, there is a draft that will be proposed by the Education Department. The New York Times reported on it, but it is a draft. As it stands right now, it is not the finalized version. But we can tell you what the Education Department is thinking of doing moving forward and how disastrous it could be if someone ends up being a victim of sexual assault or rape on or off college campuses. So I'll give you the details. If a party is on campus and a sexual assault or rape occurs, the university is required to investigate the allegation, provided that the alleged victim reports to the correct administrative official. So previously, under the Obama directive, let's say a rape or a sexual assault occurred on off-campus housing. That was still something that would be required for administrators to investigate. And now, under the Trump administration, things will change. If it did not occur on the actual campus, well, then no one is required to actually investigate it. Also, the accuser, whether it's a male or female, would have to go to a specific person or the right people in order to get that accusation investigated. Previously, under the Obama administration, it was different. If someone, any type of employee on the college campus was alerted to sexual assault or rape, it was their duty under this guidance to do something about it. Betsy DeVos essentially wants to say, no, this person, the accuser, needs to go to specific people.
And you know that these are huge changes, because it used to be that two students involved in something, regardless of where it happened, they can go to university and university investigates it. Oftentimes, the RA, the residential advisor, will be the one that gets the complaint, and then it becomes an official complaint that becomes investigated by the institution. But in the case of these new rules, if they go into effect, you have to be very specific about who you complain to, and you may not be. Or who you file a complaint with. You may not be comfortable if you're a student filing a complaint with this person. That can oftentimes have a chilling effect on these sorts of complaints. But the one big thing here is that Betsy DeVos is an institutionalist. And by that I mean she is working to see that these big institutions can protect themselves. And that's what they do naturally in these cases of sexual assault. The Catholic Church does it. They care about protecting the church. They don't care about weeding out the infractors, if that's not a word, the perpetrators is the word, those who've committed the infractions. And so you see it here, you saw it at Michigan with Nasser, that guy who was-
Michigan, Betsy DeVos from Michigan.
And they closed ranks, the school did, to protect, as you saw it at Penn State with Joe Paterno, and Sandusky was raping boys in the shower at Penn State. And the Penn State officials knew about it. They closed ranks to protect the institution. DeVos is helping them do that. DeVos wants to see these big institutions protected, and that's what this is all about.
Yeah, let me also just emphasize that a little more, because it is important. So in the Larry Nasser case, there were a number of female athletes who had gone to their coaches to complain about what was going on, to report what was going on. And those coaches, in a lot of cases, didn't do enough or tried to do something and it went nowhere. The point is, under this directive, should this pass, going to a coach wouldn't be enough. Like they would have to go to specific designated individuals. And that makes the assumption that the accusers have perfect information and that they're comfortable opening up to anyone that's been designated for that position.
I mean, the way these reforms supposedly came about are very interesting. The Obama administration, obviously, under Title IX, which I have like questions about whether or not campus rape and like the processes for proceeding with all the actions that are necessary, like whether that should have been housed under Title IX in the first place, but it was basically responding to a problem, campus rape, okay. And we know that as it stands, people who are victims of sexual violence are, I mean, the stats are there to show that they are very unlikely to come forward and speak about what happened to them, to openly accuse the person who violated them, and that already there's so much stacked against those victims, and that school institutions not taking them seriously, to having to prove beyond a reasonable doubt all the different things, to having to be re-traumatized. These are all reasons why, right? Obama administration has new regulations and rules, great. So it seems like actually the real reforms need to be in helping those schools and aiding those schools into better implementing the regulations and the new rules that the Obama administration set forward, not to scale them back. Betsy DeVos met with family members of supposedly wrongly accused victims. So like 3 or 4 moms who are very active in their little boys' lives still, from probably elite universities, met with these poor, embattled, accused people accused of rape, and said, oh no, the real problem is false accusation. The real problem isn't rape. See, I know it seems like that, but the real problem is the 1 in like 100 or 300 or 1,000 people and cases of false accusation. Did she sit down and meet with campus rape groups or anti-campus rape groups? Did she sit down and meet with people who designed this? No. She only sat down with, I would assume, very privileged families defending their sons who were supposedly falsely accused. So again, just a little bit of history of how we've gotten to this point of once again defending the powerful.
I also want to quickly clarify something just in case people, because it's confusing, right? We're not talking about criminal proceedings in a court of law. We're talking about college or university administrators trying to decide what they're gonna do with a very difficult situation. This is a complex issue. Yeah. I don't want anyone to think it's black or white or that it lacks any nuance. It's very difficult to decipher the right course of action moving forward. But what I will say is that we're not having a discussion about due process in a court of law. We're having a discussion about whether or not it makes sense to punish an individual who has been accused of rape or sexual assault on campus, or off campus at a school event, or off campus dorms. You get what I'm saying. And the way that Betsy DeVos is handling it, she tries to make it seem as though she's trying to be fair and equal to both sides, but the way that she's handling it shows that there seems to be a preference toward protecting the accused as opposed to the accusers. And one of the reasons why the Obama administration even got involved in this was because there were multiple cases of individuals dealing with sexual assault and rape, and their accuser was still on campus, still taking the same classes as them, and they had to deal with it with the university brushing it under the rug. Because every university wants to make it in the top ranks. Yes. And you're not gonna make it in the top ranks, and you're not gonna enroll as many students as you want to enroll and make the money you want to make if you are known as being a school that has rapists and has been protecting rapists. Right. So they've been brushing these cases under the rug for a long time, which is why the Obama administration got involved in the first place.
Right. That's the role of government. Like when I don't want the government involved in everything I do. I don't want it involved in most things I do. But I wanted to step in when the incentives are clearly reinforcing bad behavior. It totally incentivizes you in every possible way to sweep it under the rug. Just ask Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan, who was, complicit in, sweeping under the rug stuff at the Ohio State University, when he ran when he was part of the wrestling department, and this stuff was going on.
Well, look at Ken Starr at Baylor. Ken Starr at Baylor completely covering up sexual assaults. This is what they do, and as Anna says, the statistics are overwhelming. I mean, campus rape is a real problem. It's virtually an epidemic. And so that's why the Obama administration felt the need to spring into some kind of action. And now to see this rolled back this way, it's I mean, and it is done really just to save face for the institution in whatever way, to keep them at the top of the rankings, or to just
and to undo
roll back
anything that Obama has ever done.
That's
that
certainly
has
true.
been.
I also want to say that I've heard her speak on this. If you guys have listened, I feel like 6 months ago or so, DeVos basically said, listen, there's nothing we can do when tragic events happen. The education secretary said, essentially, we can't stop campus rape. Educate people not to rape. That's how you stop campus rape. You're the education secretary, dude. Like,
and show that the federal government takes cases of rape on college campuses or off college campuses, but involving 2 college students seriously.
she basically just said boys
law
will
and
be
order.
boys. She
Exactly.
said boys will be boys in like a press conference.
Exactly.
And
And
this
this
is the law and order party. And I know that this still allows for the legal proceedings to go down the line, but don't you, I mean, everywhere else you're encouraging people, go do a vigilante, go find these people, report these people who you think are not citizens, go do that. But when it comes to a system of higher education, it's like got implicit racism because these are college kids. And if you look at the numbers, college kids are like more proportionally white people who are well off. And that's exactly what it is. And she's protecting Jim Jordan and the Big Ten. And it's annoying.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below. Then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.